guys do. Once you hear my voice online like this, the calls just start to come in. Okay, I'm so excited for the calls. I'm excited that you guys are passionate about this topic, but I have to introduce my special guest in the house. She's a certified family life practitioner, and she is in the business of helping young couples live their best married life. She's also passionate about helping young single ladies gain clarity. You can just tell that this woman is all about women, literally, and men, so that you guys don't feel left out. And she's the founder of the Complete Lady, a lady-centric network with members across Africa and Europe. And she's also the creative lead of the Diggy Pineapple, a social media management agency that helps brands elevate their online presence through strategic content. She says she's an ex-broadcaster, but there's nothing like ex. Once you're a broadcaster, you are forever a broadcaster, a writer, speaker, entrepreneur, and definitely a woman that is so passionate about women and men. I don't like to just say ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Charity Moses. I like to call her Charity the life fixer. I like that name, eh?
Really?
When I put it into bracket, you said no, we should just put your Charity Moses in.
I know.
Why?
I just felt like, it's kind of lengthy, so I wanted to keep it precise.
So, but why Charity the life fixer? That name
That's basically what I do. I'm more of a life coach, and I help, women gain clarity.
Oh, okay. That's nice. I'm good to have you too. Thankfully, you're talking about women. We're talking about women and men today. And we're talking about the weaker vessel, the weaker sex. Mm-hmm. First of all, is there anything of such like a weaker vessel, weaker sex? and why is that? Why does it even, how does it occur? Why does it exist?
Exactly. To begin with, I was wondering why, it has to be a debate. It has to be, a conversation to...
But just other gender, you can't...
Exactly. It's not really, because I see this as a huge misconception, right? Okay. I see it as a huge misconception because, when I think about women all across, modern ages, we have women occupying higher positions. And, these same women from time to time, I have been in these positions and have been doing significantly well. So it's really difficult to say that, women are the weaker vessels, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because these same women, tend to be employees, tend to be mothers, managers, caregivers and all sorts. And given that women have this capacity to, wear different hats, so it's really difficult to say that women are the weaker vessel. I would say that is more an individuality concept, not a gender thing.
Okay, now I like that you mentioned this, but again, as far as you said, women are doing a lot of things. Women are in leadership position, they're in power, they're in business, they're mothers, they're kids, and da. Do you know that even irrespective of all these things that a woman is or a woman can be, there's still that. Especially when the other gender, or maybe sometimes even our own gender, start to talk about the woman. It's just like, for example, a woman is in business, she's doing very well, and then but she's not married, or there'll not be something like, but there's that but, there's that, maybe she can't gather emotions, or maybe she can't keep a man. Maybe there's a but. There's always that, even though no matter how big she is, no matter how powerful it is, there's this, but she's, so that but there, for me, sounds like weakness. Thoughts on that?
Well, this is why, I believe that every woman should be self-aware, right? So when this ideologies come in, it shouldn't throw you off balance, right? Because men often feel like, because she's successful, she's doing so well, there's still certain limitations, but we all have our individual capacities, and we as women have this inner strength if we channel it and we bring it to line. So I really don't feel like we should hide ourselves or feel less of a woman just because, you can't do certain things. If I choose to want to handle this role and I put my mind to it, I bring in my strength, my effort, I get in all the knowledge, of course, why can't I?
I hear you. You said it's not a gender thing, but would you consider the male gender stronger?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because whatever a man can do, a woman who wants to step into that shoe can also achieve it.
Ha! This one, the agenda will not agree with this. So, because when they start to break it down, go to the engineering sectors and some other sectors, that's like mining, and stuff. They
We
will.
do find women in there,
I
right?
mean, you would find women, but they're not. They don't go for that physical strenuous.
You think so?
Do they?
They do. They do. But the only difference is when you want to talk about the percentage, we might say that, it's more a bit lower.
So, but why?
That is what I said. A woman can achieve whatever she wants to achieve. Once you set your mind to it, once you channel your energy. If I want to learn these things today, I get the necessary skills. Why can't I?
So who should we blame for all those perceptions that, sometimes in some sectors we see more women than men, or some sectors we see more men than women, and then to sometimes say, oh, there's this a career path for women, there's a career path for men because of the gender stereotypes and all. Who do we blame for this? Do we blame society, or is it the women themselves that don't see themselves in the fullness of themselves, or what?
It's actually both sides. First, the society. The society needs to throw that conception away that, there are certain things that a woman can't do. Okay, and stop seeing them as a weaker vessel. Because I often see women, especially when you're married, you ask, okay, you can't do this, you can't do that. Once you start having children, you can't, work at certain roles. It should be my own individual decision or choice to make. To decide not to at that point.
Even if
but
it's
that doesn't.
Sorry to cut you. Even if it does not, even if it's at risk of your biological makeup.
No, that's now more like a different thing. That's why I said it's an individual preference. So if I choose not to take on certain roles at that time, it should be because of these other, issues I have been able to, highlight or identify, right?
Yes.
So I could decide not to do them. But if we have women who are still working 9 to 5 and they're doing excellently well, even with their children and all of that. So it doesn't make you more of a woman who wants to sit back at home and take care of the, home front. And then on the second aspect, when I say that, is also a responsibility of the women. They need to start, believing in themselves more, see themselves as being enough, building capacity. I'm all about building capacity, trust me. If you build capacity, channel, we have tremendous, life has shown us that, women have such tremendous, capacity and talents that some men often lack, especially in the areas of soft skills. So if we actually channel this inner strength, we can.
What do you mean by soft skills, though?
Soft skills in the sense that, in terms of multitasking, in terms of doing certain things, men often do not have that brain stamina for that.
In other words, men are weaker.
I didn't say that.
This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. I still have with me in the studio Charity, the life fix. I can see your calls. Let's take a caller. If you have questions and thoughts, please do want to call back. Hello. Hello. Okay, we don't have much time, so please, when you call in, make sure you're ready to speak. The number to call is 0705-993-6937 or 0705-993-7937. If you have thoughts and questions and opinions, please do well to calling on the numbers I just called. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for calling.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good to have you on the show. Babatunde, thanks for calling back.
Yeah, I called earlier.
Yes, thanks for calling back. Talk to me.
I want to take you back to Genesis. I mean, in the beginning.
Oh God, I believe in the Bible study now.
No, if men were stronger vessels, I don't think Pa Adam should have accepted the apple from
Eve.
Madam. Yeah, exactly. So from the Genesis, you can just tell.
No, but if you were to look at it from that, sorry to cut you, Babatunde, if you were to look at it from that perspective, then what about the Eve that also took from the snake? Because that makes her also weak, and she was the first person to even collect it before she now transferred it.
Now we are comparing the male and the female. So that is it. So
okay, the end.
Adam should have Adam should have refused from Madam Eve that no, and try and persuade her and let her know for so reasons I'm not going to eat this apple. But because Adam too was weak, he just accepted it. So you can see from Genesis, I think that's been as such. So it is normal. And it is society that is making everybody assume that women are weaker. To me, I've seen a lot of ladies, women doing very, very well, even better than women. But if a woman has 5 million, as I'm talking to you now, I have 20 million, and a lady calls me she needs 5 million. I would rather help that lady. And if a man calls me and needs 500,000, I would rather help the lady with 5 million than the man with 500K. Because I
Eh?
have seen ladies that, yes, yes,
About today, I need help.
Oh.
Oh. Please, I need 10
I have
million.
no. I'm just saying. I have exes in the past that if they call me to date, I still send them money because I know that if I send her 5,000, any day I get broke or I need anything, I can call her and she will do 10 or 15 because I know that money is meant for business or something. So that's it. But for a
Wow.
guy, I just believe this guy wants to go and drink some bottles of beer and hang out, chill out. So that is true. So I even think I would rather assist a female financially in any way because they are doing much better to me. Because men now, actually in this part of the world, they just believe in flexing, enjoying, hanging out. Hardly will friends come to you now and tell you this is the way forward. I mean the men. But I've seen ladies that will even call me, yeah, there's this thing, I want to set up this thing, can you help me? And I know she has a plan and she'll get there. So
Okay, thank you so much, Babatunde. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. So somebody said that because women are more emotional and that they express their emotions, it makes them weaker. Thoughts on that?
I don't think so. I feel women, are more spontaneous, unlike men. Some women are more spontaneous in the sense that we tend to act quicker than our brain processes, right? So that's what actually makes it looks like our emotions are all pouring out.
Okay.
But if a woman is able to, contain her emotions, having some level of emotional intelligence, it could help balance things up. So this is why it all falls back to or goes back to, building capacity, because these are some of the things that you'll be able to balance up, when you build your capacity as a woman, right? There we have men as well who do not know how to manage their emotions. So let's not make it look as if the men, they have it all figured out. No, they don't. Sometimes they act, without actually processing these things.
Okay, when you say build capacity, you keep mentioning that, how can we actually build this capacity that you're talking about as women?
Okay, so when we talk about building capacity, first of all, you need to first discover who you are, know yourself, know you as a person, not what the society think you should be. Because when you don't have that basic sorted out, you find yourself being, thrown left, right, center, going by the trends or whatever you feel like it's been accepted as a norm. There are certain things that would happen. It won't move you, it won't get to you, because you know your stance. You need to build your own set of values, your ideologies, and your culture, what you want your life and how you want it to be, exactly, basically. And then you also need to build your self-worth. That also comes in, and then you also need to grow in terms of knowledge. I don't I am not comfortable saying women who just speak without having some kind of intellect up there. You need to build your knowledge. You need to get informed, know what's going on around you, especially in your field and your sector where you find yourself. That's also key. So if you want the men to treat you as like you want, exactly, so you need to measure up. You need to measure up. So if you're not doing any of those things and then you want to come into play, you're just going to be kept aside.
How would the person who, now it's one thing to actually hear from the men saying women are the weaker vessel, and that's one thing. Another thing to actually hear from your fellow women or women who actually believe that they are actually the weaker vessels. Because it's a mentality, do you understand? So if you're in that headspace where you're thinking, oh, I'm the weaker vessel here, like it's not even the man telling me, it's not the other gender, like this is, I'm not even saying it to myself, it's like been ingrained. It's been ingrained in my subconscious, or in the way I've been brought up. How can we take more women from that subconsciousness?
So we need to start changing the mindset, because a lot of us women actually grow up with these things, like you just mentioned. Actually grow up with this mentality that, of course, there are certain things I can't do. I need to wait for a man to get it done. So we need to change that mindset first. Let them know that, hey, you can do this, you can do that. You've got the strengths, you've got those talents. You can actually get these things going. You don't have to rely or wait on a man for you to achieve certain feats in your life, right? So you also need to work on your self-esteem, because that's also a huge factor for women who believe they can't, get certain things done for them because you feel like you're not qualified enough, you're not good enough. So you need to talk that out of your mind. And then you need to also practice, because you can't just say things you don't practice. You need to walk the walk, in order to actually see these things come in reality for you. So women should stop limiting themselves. It's actually self-limiting to think that you can't get to certain
We can measure
levels.
up.
You can't measure up. I
that you're
strongly
weak.
disagree. Why? I strongly disagree with that. So we need to actually, ditch that limiting mindset and, measure up.
Okay, let's take another caller. Hello.
Yeah, Emmanuel, I'm calling from First Start.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for calling. I appreciate.
Yes, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Then why don't you like if you marry, like if you have discovered that you marry a wife, then your wife now, we are talking about the bigger vessel.
Yes.
Then your wife now, let me say, a lack wisdom. There's a lot of things in the house a woman is supposed to do in the house. So you watch her that you and the husband you doing you do all the business. So my wife is a too dull and a lack wisdom.
Okay.
Thank you. So I need your help.
Okay. All right. Thank you for calling. First of all, the choice of words. I don't know if I like the choice of words. Dear caller, I think maybe your choice of word could be nicer. But I like that you're being maybe honest. It could be honest. It could be an honest one.
He's being sincere.
Yes, being sincere and honest. But I don't know. Choice of words kind of scary for me. But again, according to him, if you have a wife who is dull, right? And maybe according to him not motivated, maybe not doing things in the house, literally being the weaker vessel here, right? According to him, what can he do? I don't know if I got that right.
Yeah, I think I get where he's coming from. So I'm just going to put it out first to him that no woman is dull, right? So he should not feel like his wife is dull. Let's just say she's not been nurtured enough to that point where he wants her to be. Because, I don't want to go back to, before they got married, but let's just address it the way it is right now. We can't all be at the same pace or the same, frequency
so that does
all
that mean
the time.
That the person is not dull in that sense? Like, if we're being honest?
She's not. She just needs to be nurtured in the right direction.
Okay.
So if it's not something that he can handle on his own, he could direct her to mentors, the right mentors, people who will guide her, bring her, up to that standard that he wants her to be, not just being conclusive that she is dull. The only exception is if she, after going through those guidance, going through those lessons and everything, she's still adamant on being, stuck at where she is, then you can say that is a decision that she chooses to make. She just want to be at that point. There are some women who do not even want to take action to becoming a better version of themselves.
Does it make them less of who they are?
It doesn't make them less. I feel like exactly they're not really, living their full potentials. They're just comfortable at their comfort zone. They don't want to stretch. They don't want to get on challenges. They don't want to move past what they are.
Are you saying it doesn't make them weaker? Because it starting to sound like weakness to me. If you can move,
the only thing that makes them weaker is if they are not taking action. Like I said, we all have this inner strength in us. You're just keeping it dormant. It's sleeping somewhere. You're not weak in any way, in any form. The moment you activate it,
I just got it.
It's speeding things up for you.
Interesting. So in the case of the caller, the wife has all this energy inside of her, all this beauty, but she's probably not being harnessed, or she's not harnessing it.
Exactly.
So in a situation where now she should get mentors, like you said, dear caller, get mentors or get coaches for your wife, right?
Exactly.
But if in a situation that she's not interested, or she's not even at that space where, I don't want to step out of this weaker vessel mentality. I just want to be here. What happens then? What should he do?
Then they need to come back to the table and have, a proper discussion, because if she's not willing to budge, it's going to affect the home front, which of course, he's complaining about already. So they need to bring you back to the table again and get this sorted. So he needs to now take a stance. Am I going to cope with this for the rest of my life? Is it something I can just, overlook and, bear? Because you can't be inside and something is pinching you and you can't solve it and you're still stuck. So that's now going to be a personal decision he has to make. Can he, just overlook these things and still have a perfect or a happy family life? If no, then he knows what to do.
Wow.
He knows.
Charity, the life fixer.
Don't get in depth there.
Oh my God! Like it feels like we're getting like literally in there. But yeah, but that was a good one. That was
because he can't be refusing, coaching. He can't be refusing guidance. He can't be refusing
mentorship. But hopefully
mentorship.
she's going to be.
Which I feel so. Yeah, hopefully. I feel so. When you get the right guidance, trust me.
Yes. So, dear caller, you could reach out to Charity the Life Fixer. I mean, you're a mentor yourself and a coach. So, in case you think she needs some mentorship and guidance, Charity the Life Fixer here can definitely guide her. How can they find you on social media, though?
Okay, so I'm on Instagram at Charity the Life Fixer. So you can just, send me a DM on Instagram.
Okay.
And my contact channels are also available on my Instagram. So
okay, that's
it's
totally
easy.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Charity, for
having me
being on the show. A family life practitioner. We are having issues with your family life, or you want more strength and growth. You can always, reach out to Charity Moses. This has been an amazing show with you. Thank you so much.
Same
When we started, I was like, I'm not getting it. But at some point, I got it. You're saying that we are all I got from what you're saying. We are actually enough. We have everything, all the power. There's nothing like weakness until you in fact, even when you don't, you're still not weak.
Even the guy who wants to go scriptural, the Bible also said that women are helpmeets. You being a helpmeet requires some sort of capacity.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, God did not, make women helpmeet because he knows that you have something inside to come up to par with the man.
Yeah. You literally have to be as strong as the person
so
that you can step into their
shoes.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate
my
so
pleasure.
My listeners
Thanks for having me.
Viewers, to all my listeners and viewers, thank you so much for being a part of this show. This has been an amazing show. This show is definitely not the show without you, for sharing your thoughts and your opinions. I really appreciate you. The show will be live again on Wednesday at 5 to 6 p.m. Don't forget that Deep Waters is live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 4:30 to 5:30 on Monday, and 5 to 6 p.m. on Wednesdays and Fridays. And you can watch a repeat of the episodes tomorrow. Like this episode is going on tomorrow on YouTube, so please do well to check the episodes and be a part of the show. Please also follow Deep Waters _podcast on Instagram to be a part of the Deep Waters community. For myself and Charity,
have a wonderful evening.